Hi, I'm Rich Hummel. I want to show you our newest one-time tool, which is actually 3 tools designed for helping you sharpen chisels and plane irons. It consists of the sharpening angle gauge, which you use for checking the primary bevel angle of your tool, sharpening angle fixture, which helps you to set the projection in the sharpening guide, and the sharpening guide itself, which is what holds the tool. The sharpening guide is similar to a traditional honing guide, like this Eclipse version. The difference you'll notice are the wheels. An Eclipse version has a single wheel in the middle. Ours has 2 wheels. The benefit of having 2 wheels is you have a much wider stance, and it's much easier to keep the front edge of your tool perpendicular to the sides, because the sharpening guide will not rock as you're pushing it forward and back on the stone. The other neat thing is that these wheels can be reconfigured. If you have a really narrow tool, say an 1/8" chisel, you're going to need those wheels on the outboard side, as I have them right here, to make room for clamping such a narrow tool. If you're going to be sharpening a plane iron, you need the wheels on the inside so that you're not skating off the edge of your sharpening stone. Alrighty, the first thing we're going to do is we want to set the fence to the 25-degree mark based on the primary angle that we read using our gauge. I'm going to slide the fence up to the 25-degree position, and before I tighten the clamp, I'm going to put the indexing pin in, and that assures it's exactly at 25 degrees, and it'll be quite repeatable. And then I tighten the knob right here. Next, I'm going to take the sharpening guide and I'm going to flip it over on its back and make sure it's, of course, on the step here and up against the front of the step there. You'll notice that you can move the jaws very easily. You don't have to turn the screw. I have it opened wide enough for my 1" blue spruce chisel. So I'll set it in there, pinch the jaws closed, and I want to make sure that my chisel is down up against the 2 small steps in the jaws. Half tighten the knob and then press down. Make sure it's firmly against both of those steps, up against the step in the fixture as well, and then finish tightening the knob. Now I'm set to sharpen. Very easy. But if you have something much wider, say a 2 1/4" plane iron, you can see what's going to happen here. Look how wide the wheels are. That will literally fall off the edge of most sharpening stones. So we want to move these wheels to the inside. On the inside is a screw that holds the axle. We want to move the wheel to the inside. Snug that up, and there we go. Pinch it together. I'm doing 2 things at once here. I'm holding the plane iron up against the fence at the 25-degree position. I have both jaws up against the step in the angle fixture. I'm going to push down and make sure that the plane iron is against both steps and fully tighten, and I'm ready to go. Now you see the wheels are right underneath the plane iron, allowing me to use the full width of a sharpening stone. That's it. That's how you install different size tools in Woodpeckers Sharpening Angle Guide. We're going to start off with the coarsest stone, and I'll show you a little bit on technique. You know, you're going to end up putting your fingers and hands where they're most comfortable for you. I tend to keep my index fingers on top of the 2 jaws, my thumbs behind it, and I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure as I move forward. And if you watch closely, I kind of tip the nose of the tool up on the drag back. The reason for that is you'll just tend to dull your edge if you're dragging it back across the stone. So the pressure should just be on the forward stroke. Okay, now I'm going to take the sharpening guide and just dunk it in the water and keep going. And that keeps everything clean. The debris picks up on the stone, and then when I see enough has accumulated, and it gets way more than this, but you kind of get the idea. I'll take that stone and rinse it in the water, flip it around so I don't wear out one side, and we'll make a few more strokes. Alrighty, that's in good shape. We'll clean off the stone, and now I'm going to move to the 1,000 grit stone, get a little bit of water on it, and repeat the process. Okay, so for the 1,000 grit, I don't need to do a whole bunch. I'm really just trying to make that primary bevel look pretty. All right, now that we're done with the primary bevel, we're going to set up the stop to 27 degrees. We were at 25. We want to put a 2-degree micro bevel on it. We start by removing the indexing pin, loosen the clamp knob, and just slide the fence forward to approximately 27 degrees. Take your indexing pin, and instead of it going to the right-hand side, which are your primary angles, you put it in the left-hand side, which are your micro bevels, and then tighten the clamp knob. Now we're ready to move the chisel to the new position. You can see that the sharpening guide is nowhere near up against the step or the shoulder. So we're going to loosen the clamp. And I'm pressing the chisel up against the fence. I'm pressing the sharpening guide up against the step. I tighten the knob. Press down, make sure it's resting against the 2 steps, on the 1 step on each jaw. And we're ready to do the micro bevel. Everybody kind of does this a little differently. I don't even start a micro bevel until I'm at least 4,000 grit. In this case, with the Shapton stones, I'm actually using a 5,000 grit. We're not trying to remove much metal. All we're trying to do is put a razor sharp edge at the very tip of the chisel. And I'm applying pressure on the forward stroke and no pressure on the reverse stroke. And it doesn't take very many strokes to put a micro bevel on. Normally, no more than about 20 strokes. And there we go. There's our 5,000 grit. Okay, now we're going to go to our 12,000 grit. Looks really good. And now we'll take off the little burr, which you can barely feel. Let's make a few light strokes while I'm applying pressure down on the chisel. And a couple more strokes on the top. Not pressing down very hard. And there you go. That's how you get a razor sharp edge on the chisel. And it shaves.